we're gonna eat lunch together today.
Yes, we are.
I was hoping to have it made by the time Katie got here, but I'm making her a special lunch, and she has brought some things to the table, no pun intended. She brought me some carrots, some of Mama's lettuce, some bread. So we're gonna make some sandwiches. A couple of days ago, I was at the grocery store and Katie wanted me to get some sandwich ham and cheese, and I forgot to give it to her, and it's been in my refrigerator, and I thought, I'll give it back to you, but first I'll make us some sandwiches.
Good idea.
So we got the boys down for a nap. I don't think Woody's asleep yet, and we're gonna make some sandwiches, but first I want to share with you, this is probably, I guess, maybe our naturopath. I don't know if it's his favorite recipe, but the naturopath, functional medicine doctor we see, he recommends this recipe. It's actually in his book. That's the book that you see me getting off the shelf. And I made this recipe a lot in the past, and then somehow I just fell out of habit of making it. But it's really good and really good for you. So I want to share that recipe. I'm going to whip that up for us real quick. I think maybe Katie will work on our sandwiches, and maybe in 10 minutes or so, we'll be ready to eat.
I hope I'm hungry.
Me too. So this is a pound or so of carrots. Now this is the only time consuming part of this recipe is peeling the carrots. So this is like a little salad, but instead of cutting them up, you shred them. And I don't remember exactly what he said, but this is part of the whole point of the recipe because it increases the surface area of the carrots, and that is what helps your gut. We ended up having to get a bigger bowl for the carrots. So this is 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and that's a clove of garlic minced up. This is half a teaspoon of coriander ground. And then we're gonna add a tablespoon of honey. This is a 1/3 cup of olive oil. I may go just a little shy on it. Depends on how much oil you like in your carrots. And then we've got just salt and pepper to taste. That was a lot of salt.
It's okay, I like salt.
And then here's some pepper. And then we just mix it up. And this is one of those recipes, the longer it sits in the fridge, the better it gets.
Sets up that flavor, huh?
It does.
Sweet.
Man, that smells really good.
Oh, it does, don't it?
We've not made this in a long time. Me, Mom, and Katie made this, I feel like every week for a long time, and somehow we just fell out of the habit. But this is something you could have with any meal. You could have this with breakfast, lunch, supper. This could be a snack. I want to read you though. I'll set this aside, and I want to read you what he says about it in his book. So, eat raw carrot salad every single day. Mix grated carrots with a little olive oil or liquid coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, sprinkle it with salt. Eat it sometime in the day, preferably between meals. It's a great habit to eat this before dinner, as you're preparing dinner, or as a mid-afternoon snack. Carrots are an interesting food because they have natural antiseptic properties that neutralize a lot of overgrowth of bacteria and yeast in the gut. So think of them as a natural antibiotic. The fibers in carrots also help bind the various metabolic waste as they are leaving the body. So this might be why it's important that you shred them this way, because it increases that surface area. All this gives good bulk to the stool and helps provide a good solid bowel movement on a daily basis while binding toxins. And to boot, it tastes delicious. So it is good if you're constipated, which we all know why being constipated is a bad thing. But it also helps bind those toxins and carry them out of the body. And apparently carrot is like a natural antibiotic. So this is a powerhouse here of a little dish. And this could be a side dish for anything, or like we said, it could be a snack or an addition to any meal. So
But what I like about it is it's cheap and easy.
It's
to
cheap.
go along with it, so.
It's cheap and easy, that's right. And it's really flavorful.
It is. All right, yeehaw. We're going to make our sandwiches, and we're going to be close to being done here. I'm just saying that Corey's kind of in charge because this is her kitchen and her ingredients. But and we're about to be done because this girl's got to eat.
Oh, gosh, it's hot in there. Let me tell you something. The real pros, they just stick their hands into the toaster ignorantly, and they don't even worry about it. All right, this is the lettuce that I picked. I'm gonna have to wash that. I've not washed it yet, so set that aside for just a second.
We could both have an apple in a minute. Some ham.
If you want to build the sandwiches, I will wash off and cut up the fruit.
Okay. I mean, do you care about what's on your sandwich? Also, I'm gonna have to have that lettuce washed.
I will wash the lettuce. I just want ham and cheese. And you want me to get us some green onions from the garden?
I don't care. It don't matter. You can do it.
Katie just wants to eat. I'll just do ham and cheese and lettuce. I've got you some mustard there if you want.
Do you want mustard or no?
No mustard for me.
Okay. I like mustard. Okay. Listen. Use the cheese. Do like this right here. Bada bing, bada boom. And that way you don't have to fool with dirtying a knife. So there you go. This may need slightly more cheese, yep. Okay, piece of ham. This is gonna be my sandwich because Corey doesn't want mustard. So she obviously won't like this. There's that. Sometimes when I do sandwiches like this, because I like to have all the surface area of the sandwich covered, because I like to taste like a bite of each thing in like every bite. So I like end up like taking a little bit of ham, a little bit of cheese. I don't end up doing like just one full piece, because then I'm like, well, the top of the sandwich won't have anything on it. So, all right, next the lettuce. I'm gonna rinse this real quick. Corey, I'll just rinse this to make it easier on you.
Sorry, I was supposed to be doing that.
Okay, the lettuce got rinsed, so I'm gonna put this out right here. And then I think that will be complete for this little sandwich right here. All right, so it's my sandwich. I'm gonna set this aside, and then we're gonna build Corey's sandwich. Right, Corey's done got some blueberries on her plate. All right, Corey, your sandwich is coming up.
Thank you.
You know, there's all kinds of fun sauces that people make to go on their sandwiches, you know. You can make all kinds of stuff to go on a sandwich, and it's probably pretty good. But I think a sandwich without anything is still also really good, so there's that.
I'm just sorry that you haven't made my sandwich. This is supposed to be me making you lunch.
But you've already made me lunch by washing the fruit, by doing the,
I made some carrot salad.
yeah, the carrot salad. All right, now you're gonna have some ham in every bite too.
Thank you.
I washed your lettuce in the soap, so it would be extra clean.
Thank you.
All right, there's you some lettuce. Of course, it's got that good crunch to it. I love these glasses. We got these in an old hutch at Granny's house. We were looking through there. She had a lot of dishes, and still has a lot of dishes. They're all in the house except for like these cups we took out, because we thought it might be cool to drink out of them. I really appreciate the older dishes. Some of them, I had this conversation the other day with somebody. Some of them are thicker, like these blue glasses have a little bit of thickness, and so they're pretty sturdy. If you were to drop them, you have a better chance of them not breaking. If you get crazy in the dish water,
Which I do sometimes.
I do that.
I've broke a lot of dishes that way.
I have. So the other day I was having this conversation with someone about sometimes some of the older glass, especially some of the like my favorite like sets of glasses that you see at antique shops or thrift shops, mostly antique shops. When I went to the Pickers Barn, y'all saw some like that. Lots of sets of beautiful glasses, but they're thin. They're like so thin, and those are the ones that break when you're not careful, or if you're just washing dishes and you're just being a little too aggressive because you're in a hurry. Those are the ones that break. So they're beautiful. You have to be more careful with those. I appreciate the thicker ones so that I just use them, man, and I'm not worried about destroying them, you know. I don't know where Granny got those from.
I don't know, and that's the funny thing to me is I really like them. I never seen her use them per se, so I don't know where they came from, but they look so much like Miss Cindy or other grandma. That looks like something she would have had, not Granny, if that makes sense.
I think she had some kind of like that.
Sorry, huh? That was a little bit gross.
Well, we are eating, so.
This is good.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. We've done other eat lunch with us videos. We can leave those in the description, but sometimes people don't like them because we're just eating on camera, and so if that grosses you out, I understand.
If it grosses you out, go somewhere else.
The thin glasses do break, and a lot of the older ones are thin. That's how I ended up breaking. If I had to guesstimate how many glasses that me and Austin together have broke since we got married, it has to be at least a dozen. At least.
Oh my gosh.
Which I know is ridiculous, but I'm telling you, between us both, and then the sink that we used to have was like wasn't really porcelain, but was like a stone sink. If you just dropped a dish in there too hard, it broke. So I broke a lot of them like that.
This might be a fun video for one day. A lot of you know, and if you don't know, I'm telling you now, I have a storage unit where...
What's in Katie's storage unit?
What's in Katie's storage unit? We could do a video and like, what's in my storage unit? Well, there's a lot of furniture and like stuff to keep for our house one day. And when my grandma died, when Miss Cindy died, we had to get stuff out of the house. As when anybody passes away, you have to get stuff out of the house. And there was some furniture that I liked and I wanted to keep. And it was actually my old bedroom furniture that she ended up taking when she moved. She moved from Black Mountain out here. When was that? 2014, 15, maybe 2015, 13, 14, somewhere around in there. And she had a duplex, and so she didn't take the furniture with her. I mean, she took some stuff, but not much at all, and she needed furniture. Well, we give her, I can't remember how that happened, but either way, she ended up with our old bedroom furniture. We got some new furniture, whatever, and I wanted to keep it. I liked it. I liked it when I was a girl. She painted it. I liked it, and I wanted to keep it. So I got a storage unit, and I put the furniture in there. And then I ended up collecting old odds and ends along the way in that storage unit. And part of what's in there, moving along to how this is related to what we were just talking about, dishes. I have a lot of dishes in there. Some come from Granny years ago. Some of them I got at a, it's like a yard sale, but it was happening in a church. And I was in Haywood County when I was there. That was Long Chapel. Is it Longs with an S, or is it just Long Chapel Church? If you're watching this video or you're from there, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They had a little yard sale at the church, and so I went to it. And I went down into the basement of the church. That's like probably where their fellowship hall area was and everything. And that's where they were having their sale. And I walked in there, and there was like so many cool things. All the things that I would really love. And there was a lot of old glasses, like drinking glasses. They were just so cool. Jelly jars, like all this stuff. And so I thought, I'm just gonna, stack that away for one day, and I'll probably give some to Mom. And so I brought it home with me, and I put it in my storage unit. While I was there in the basement of that church, I saw a picture of a woman, a really pretty large woman, tall, kind of big woman. And I thought, I know this woman, but this was like ages ago, black and white. Who is this woman? And I started looking. It had the names of everybody, and that was, let's see, she would be my great grandma, Dolly. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't realize, and I probably knew, and I had just forgotten that they went to church there. And so Miss Cindy's parents are buried at that cemetery, and her Daddy's parents are buried at that cemetery. And it was just so cool to see pictures of my family. Like, I just didn't think I would see pictures of them inside the church. Like, okay, they're buried out here, but... So I was like, wow, what a cool day it was to see that picture of her inside that I had never seen before, and then find those old glasses that I took home. So one day, if we do the storage unit, we look, there's some furniture, there's some glasses, but there's a lot of other stuff in there. So comment below and tell me if you want to look at my storage unit. And I will, I'll show you.
I think that'd be awesome.
Dolly's husband's name was Crawford. And when we were picking the boys' names, like, so many good family names to choose from, it was hard to decide.
Yeah, that was mostly, we looked at family names and lots of good. I mean, I was torn though, like family names, Bible names, and then I almost felt guilty. Well, shouldn't I pick a Bible name? And which Ira, that is a name in the Bible.
There's 2 separate Iras mentioned in the Bible.
But Ira was named after
our great uncle.
He died in the early 2000s, but we can both remember meeting him at his house.
Yep. He was a sweet man. There was something that was just so calming. That's what I remember about him.
Right, that's Dad's uncle.
He married Papa's sister. And he was a mastermind mechanic. It was amazing what he could do. He could take something, a vehicle with a gas engine, and convert it to diesel. Put him a diesel motor in there. I mean, there's people who just remember him. Like, oh yeah, like all the old timers still remember the things because he traveled. He converted an old, I don't know what that was, like something. He like basically built a big tool truck and traveled as a service and mechanic. And so he had like a little crane on that truck. And he could show up wherever you were. He worked on log equipment. He worked on skidders. He worked on pretty much anything. And not that long ago, I was out at the lake visiting my great aunt, my other great aunt and uncle. And of course they remember him. And so they were talking about him. And then my great aunt's nephew remembers him. And he was talking about him, and he said he could fix anything. If you had a problem and you just called him, you knew you had this like, oh, I know the problem's going to get fixed. Well, there was another person at the campground that's not related to us, but we were all talking about it. And he said, oh, I remember him. And then he started telling stories about Ira. And then we made the connection, and I told that guy, well, that's my family, I'm related. It's funny, my aunt and uncle, they have a place at the lake, and everybody who has a particular little camp spot at that lake, they're all from Haywood County. None of them are from here, except for a couple that's from Franklin, which is also not here. But so everybody knows each other. It's like a whole group of people got together and said, let's go all have a spot on the lake here, because there's not really any lakes there. And so it's just like, wow, everybody thought that highly of Ira, and they all called him Irie. They didn't call him Ira, they called him Irie. So Dad calls my Ira Irie. It's really sweet. I've talked a lot. Corey, come on, tell some.
I'm listening. And I know we've shared about the boys' names, but we get that question a lot. Woody was named after Granny, her brother-in-law. Was named Woodrow. And there was just something about that name. He also died in the early 2000s, but we can both remember going to his house and meeting him. And I can remember Ira and Woodrow's funeral. I can remember Woodrow's funeral. It was at Shady Grove, where we actually had done the Easter concert. We've done ones there before. If for some reason you've not seen that, we can put that in the description too. But I remember that, and I remember Mom, I can remember sitting in the back, and I mean, we were born in 96, okay? So this would have been like...
Ira died in 2003.
Yeah, and Woodrow would have died in like 02.
04 maybe, something.
So we were really young, but I can remember being at that service. I can tell you like exactly where I was sitting, and being so overcome with grief, even though I had only met this. I was little. I mean, we were born in 96, so... I was like 5 years old, 6 years old or something, and being so overcome with grief and just like sobbing, and my mom, I think, being like, what's happening? But I guess I do remember him, but I don't know if
You absorbed that grief in that room.
I absorbed it, I think, and I can remember that. That's one of my, I guess, if I'm honest, that's probably one of my earliest memories. But anyways, that was her brother-in-law. And his name was Woodrow. And when me and Austin, we were coming back from his parents, coming over Gainesville Mountain, and we were tossing out names. We knew that Woody was a boy. And there was something about that name that just stuck. And from then on, I thought of this baby in my belly as Woody. I was like, this is Woody. And we went, I feel like I'm just plugging all my own videos here, but we went to Hazel Creek. And I do have a video about it, so I'll also leave that in the description, but that was one of my favorite videos I've ever filmed. It really was.
It was a fun trip to make.
It was, and I was about 8 months pregnant. And I thought, man, I'll be due any day now. No.
We're like 2 more months.
No, I had like almost exactly another month, you know. Woody hung in there as long as he could, but at that point, you know, I thought, I could go at any time. Like I said, I had no idea. No. He was a vacuum assist. They had to pull him out. There was no danger in me going into labor there. There actually was a doctor there, so I wasn't that worried. But anyways, we hiked all over. I have a point to this story, the name. We hiked all over that day, several miles, and by the end of it, oh my gosh, I was so tired and sore, and I was having contractions from all the walking, and my mom was like, if she goes into labor over here across the lake, Austin will kill me.
We gotta get you home.
We gotta get you home. And Austin joined us later, but we were there for a day or two first. You know, he joined us like Friday evening after work. There was a man there that was so nice. And it was I don't think it was his dad, his friend who had been camping in there. This guy had joined us that day, never said anything, that like he watched our videos or mom's videos. Really nice guy. And we're leaving, we're waiting on the boat, the ferry boat. We let it take like, you know, the older people and everyone else first, and we just sat there and waited for them to come back. And we're getting up, we're about to leave. This man is walking off, and the guy that we were with says, bye, Woody. And I was so shocked because I was with him all day and didn't know that his name was Woody. And I called out and I said, Woody. And he turned around and I said, this is Woody. Then he told us, I watch your channel and mom's channel, and I had no idea. So you may be watching this, Woody, and if you are, shout out to you. That was a fun day. But I was like, that was just such a special moment for me because I was like, Woody, this is Woody.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I don't know. That was such a special time because it was so beautiful. And I was, you know, like 8 months pregnant. It was
it was hard, probably.
It was hard, but it was so peaceful and special. And I hadn't been there since I was like 13. And it's such a beautiful area. So that for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's like a TVA lake where the lake claimed the houses. Does that make sense?
It's a displaced
community. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what she means by ferry boat.
Yes, there's still some houses there. There's cemeteries there. And we visited some of those. There's people buried, and so people go back and clean the cemeteries and visit and things. But it was so special, too, because Woody was with me, and it just felt like he was with me on this whole trip, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And like he was getting to experience all this.
Yeah.
It was special.
That is and I'm sad I didn't get to go, and I didn't get to go because Ira was born. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like in the throes of infanthood. Hazel Creek, if you go online and look that up, that's Fontana Lake, and the TVA, that's a unique thing here in terms of when the Tennessee Valley Authority, that's the TVA, when they come in and said, we're going to make a lake for like hydroelectricity, we're going to need a dam. What they ended up doing is they picked out a spot that was favorable, and then anybody who lived there, they just told them, get out. If they paid them very little for their property, and they had to leave because their home was going to literally be underwater. And so what happened is they would find a river, dam the river. I don't know however they did it, and they build this lake. Well, all of those homes and those places, those people couldn't just tear their houses down. They left them. So they're under the lake, you know. So it's not uncommon to find glass and horseshoes and all of these things that wash up on the shores of some of these little TVA lakes because there was whole settlements under the lake. Well, Hazel Creek is unique because it didn't flood, but it got displaced. And so they promised them, the people who live there, they said, well, if you want to stay here, you can, but you're going to be cut off. And they said, we'll build you a road out the other side in the opposite direction to connect you to everything else, right? More of a civilization in the area, and they never finished the road. And so you can go and see it. It's called the Road to Nowhere because they never finished the road. And so those people eventually just, some of them probably stayed for a little while, but they had to leave because they were cut off. And so you can go visit. There's still a couple homes standing. There is, like Corey said, cemeteries. There's just there's a mill, like a I don't know if that would have been a grist mill or There's just still stuff that's there, and it's just like, it's amazing. It's like this, it's kind of an emotional experience. And so we're talking about our family and all of that stuff. Well, the other day, and I mentioned when I was at the lake and I was talking about great uncle Ira and about how my Ira has his name after him. Well, my aunt and uncle that I was there with, I started talking to them just about other family related things. And so they started telling me, so my papa's grandma, so that'd be my great grandma, papa's mama, she lived there. Not in Hazel Creek, but out from there under the lake that got flooded. She lived in a place called Judson, and that's the community that they flooded. I was under the impression that, well, she might have been really little, and I just wasn't thinking about time frame. This is the 40s, so like late 30s, 40s probably. But my Uncle Sam told me she was 20 years old when she had to leave. She was 19 years old when she had to leave. And when they flooded the place, and that's where her family lived and they all had to leave, they come to Haywood County. And that's how she met James, their daddy, and that's how they got married. And you're like, oh my gosh, if they would have never left, if she would have never had a reason to leave this community because of the TVA taking over and they're going to be a lake, she would have never had a reason to go all the way to Haywood County. And her and James would have never met, and none of us would have been here. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
How God can work out these good things from a bad thing. Now that would have been, it's actually very controversial. It would have been devastating for these people to lose their land. Just be kicked off and then given nothing. And so,
but then the power would have benefited a lot of other people.
Well, but unfortunately, sometimes the power didn't go right there to those people. They pumped it somewhere else. And it's like, are you kidding me? You stole my land and then didn't even benefit.
And I'm not saying by no means that is worth like getting kicked off your land. I just was...
No, but you're right. I mean, you have to try to see a positive note. And so the Great Smoky Mountain National Park is kind of the same type of thing. It's a little different because part of that, the part of that, like Hazel Creek and some of that is in the park. And so what they ended up doing too was taking some of the land for just the park. So they didn't flood, right? The TVA wasn't going to make a lake out of all of it, but there's people who lost their homes because of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And there's a lot of controversy about that because some people are like, how dare you take my home and kick me out to build the park? And then I could have just lived here, but you just wanted to make a park out of it for everybody else to enjoy. But the flip side is had they not done that, would all of that been developed? You know what I mean? Like, would it all remain the way it is with nothing on it? Or would it have all been developed? And I bet you some of it would have been developed. So it's like it's a sore subject, but that's my family. That's my history. That's our family history. You know, it's amazing.
We start digging. What are the sisters? Someone will be able to comment and tell me this. White sisters?
That was Kentucky, wasn't it?
Oh.
Tennessee, Virginia. It was somewhere.
I gotta let all of them. But you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. And they stayed.
They stayed, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They didn't want to leave, and where their home was going to become a park, like a national park. And they didn't leave; they stayed. And people would come see them, just like living their everyday life. Isn't that crazy?
Right. I remember watching that documentary. I'll get you a treat, baby. Okay.
Anyway, moving on. But it is fascinating. That's my family history. Look into your family history. You may have something like that in your family and you just don't know it. Thank you for making this salad. It's delicious.
It's good, ain't it?
But I'm like, we're receiving health benefits. It's good. Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes if you're going to eat a sandwich, I'm not knocking on a sandwich. I love a sandwich better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of eating something like chips with it, even though I also love chips, it makes it, you don't feel as bad for eating a sandwich like if you eat this and some blueberries,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to eat the chips too still sometimes. But
oh, yeah. You were just talking about like when you were pregnant and hiking, and I was thinking about like, I think both of us experienced this. When we were, like, especially later on in your pregnancy, you're like, but I'm just so hungry. But you can't eat much because kind of just the room, like your stomach is kind of like just being pushed up and everything is just kind of been displaced. All your organs have been displaced because of the baby. And you're like, but I'm just so hungry. And so I always enjoy now. I'm like, I try to be so grateful. I'm like, wow, I can eat whatever I want. And it's not difficult. And that's not to say that there's anything bad about being pregnant. It's a very special time. And it was really cool that we were pregnant together. And I think Mom and Dad, obviously my pregnancy was an accident and it was unplanned. And it's okay because God blessed my life and all of our lives greatly with it. But I think it was really interesting for us both to be pregnant together. Not just for us, but for like Mom and Dad too.
I think it was like double the excitement, but double the stress too.
Yeah.
But it was so special. I mean, that's how God wanted it to be. I mean, that's just how He lined it up. And it was so special being, because Katie was just barely ahead of me. And so she had been through everything. So then I could say, well, what about this? And yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our pregnancies were so similar.
They were. Wow.
So that was nice to be able to have someone in real time, like, going through it. And I love what my mama said. My mama said, obviously, many wise things. We're very blessed to have our mom. And I always like to say, because sometimes we have new viewers who don't know that our mom has a channel, so I like to say that, leave it in the description that her brother or uncle has one, and we leave that in the description below. But she said one time when I was pregnant, it might have been on that trip to Hazel Creek, I can't remember, which makes me think about another video I did with her while we were there, and I'll put that in the description too. But she's like, when you're pregnant, you're not who you used to be, but you're not who you're going to be yet. And I was like, man, Mom, that was so wise, because that was, especially once you like get big, that really was such a good summarization, of how I felt, because you're definitely not your old self. You're growing a baby, but you're not, the baby's not earthside. You are a mama, but like it's not earthside yet. And I just thought that was so wise, even for other seasons of life. You know, as a mom, you're always growing. There's lots of things in life where the seasons just seem to change all the time. Raising kids is one of those. I think taking care of people can be one. Yeah. There's lots of different ones, but even now, I go back to that and remember, well, I'm definitely not who I used to be, but like it's always changing. Like I'm developing as a mother, but there's still just like rapid change every single day that you're kind of confronted with, and it's like awesome and exciting and so hard all at the same time.
But it's a refinement.
Oh yeah.
Because if you love your child, it forces you to put them first, and you're like in the early days you might be like, but I've not ate, but I've not showered, but I've not slept, and perspective would tell you this is such a short season, none of that matters. All that matters is you meeting the need of this child, and these children stand in such great and complete and innocent need of the care of their parents. And so
I have a little bit of dessert.
Oh wow.
And I'll bring you some.
It's a surprise. Oh wow, sorry.
Sorry, baby.
So yeah, I mean it's a hard season. It's like it feels so good to be so desperately wanted and needed, but sometimes also you're like, hey, like, don't climb on my head. But mostly I'm like, it's okay. I'm still okay. Well, I've so enjoyed this lunch. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like I have a really good, like, lunch. I'll just have, like, a whole plate full of vegetables, whole plate full of potatoes, some kraut, something. And then other times I'm just kind of eating a sandwich on the go. And I think it's different for everybody. And I think as far as nutrition goals go, like, you don't have to be too extreme, you know, like give yourself slack in terms of it's the overall picture. It's like one like little bit of like one negative change or one thing you think you're doing wrong isn't going to impact your overall goal. That's another wise piece of advice I got. Like one bad moment or one bad thing, if you're wanting to diet or whatever it is, won't like undo 6 months of progress. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has those bad days, and so just because you have a hard time doing something, or just because you're like, oh no, I did the good thing in a row 10 days in a row, and then the 11th day I don't do as good, it's okay. That doesn't erase the 10 days of progress you made on whatever it is. If you're wanting to diet and it's food, or you're wanting to have a better exercise routine, whatever, you know, I mean, I think it's helpful to remember that. And I'm probably just saying that because I'm about to eat some dessert.
This will be healthy dessert.
What is this?
This is, I was trying to get the camera to focus on it if it would. I don't know if that's focused or not. Uh-oh. No, don't do it, Alice.
I got it. I got it before she got it. What is this? Curry, what is this?
Man, she almost got it. That would have been bad.
But she did not get it. I got it.
So, this is, and you can have more if you want. This is dates filled with almond butter with salt. And this is dark chocolate, and it's the hazelnut butter filled dark chocolate. You went for the date first, I went for the chocolate.
Oh gosh. That's good.
Is that good?
Very good. I was sitting here because you were talking about the advice Mom gave you, and I was trying to give other people advice, but I felt like I just was tap dancing all around it but couldn't hit it. But
Oh, I heard what you said. It sounded great.
it's okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I think you get my point.
Man, I don't know if I've had that hazelnut butter filled dark chocolate. It's good. It's a little different though.
I'll have to try it. The cashew butter filled is my favorite. That stuff is like...
I think it's my favorite too, but this is good.
I'll give you another healthy treat. If you're looking for something sweet, dates are super sweet. Fill them with almond butter, a little bit of salt, like we've done here. Super good, super sweet, and there's no refined sugar there. So that's the cool thing about that. A little protein too in that almond butter. Here's another one. Take you a little bit of almond butter. I'm trying to think if I can remember the exact recipe, like the exact proportions, but you can take you a little bit of almond
You do
butter.
a video on that too.
I could, yeah. A little bit of protein powder. Probably put a little salt in there if you want to. You could use peanut butter if you wanted to. That's okay too. And so combine those things and you end up with like this kind of, it's not really a dough, but kind of like that. Something that'll stick together with the protein powder and the nut butter. Put your little salt in there. And then form it into little discs, little balls, little egg shapes, something like that. And then melt you just a little bit of chocolate. You can buy one of these HU chocolate bars and melt that, whatever. Melt you a little bit of chocolate and put it over those little balls that you made. You just want to freeze them first so that they're held together. So freeze the little discs or the balls you made for like 30 minutes. Melt the chocolate, drizzle the chocolate over the little dish you made, and boom. It's like chocolate covered almond butter or peanut butter if you chose to do that. So it's almost like a Reese's, almost like a chocolate covered nougat, whatever they call it, thing going on. But it's healthy because it has the protein butter, the nut butter, and then like there's no extra added ingredients, and there's no refined sugar because it's just the sweetness of the chocolate. So you know what I mean. You can do that if you want. I like looking for little sweet treats like that I can make really fast. And you can make it in a high volume, you can make it in a low volume.
I've seen a recipe for, well, I've actually seen a lot. I downloaded the Pinterest app again. My friend Elena, if you're watching this, she asked, I think she was talking to me about it or something, and I was like, I think I'll re-download the app. Because you just save all these things to your boards and so much creativity. But anyways, recipes. And so many with dates, you can put coconut in them and then put dark chocolate on them. You can put peanut butter, almond butter, put dark chocolate on them. But you can also take, I don't know if it's dates, almond butter, vanilla, something else, stick it in a blender, like a food processor actually. Freeze that. Okay, so then it's like sort of a caramel consistency. Then put dark chocolate over that.
I've heard of that.
And then freeze it. Put you some salt on that.
It's like a soft, chewy texture versus like that dry kind of nougaty texture.
And then you can also do like Twix bars like that. So it'd be the same type of recipe, but then the crunchier part would probably be maybe like almond flour and I can't remember what else, but man, some of those look so good. But I know if I make them, I'll just eat too many of them.
That's why I say small volume batch to keep yourself from.
Well, this has been really good. You know, these plates, you could kind of see it a minute ago. This, I think, was like the very first thing that I ever got for like my future house. I had these well before I knew my husband.
Where'd you get them?
Where?
Where?
I have no idea. I wish I could remember. I have no idea where I got them. And there's only a couple of them, but I found them somewhere. I don't know if it would have been at a thrift store or they may have come from Asheville. They may have come from a thrift store.
Maybe
in Asheville.
Canton or Asheville.
visiting Miss Cindy years ago, but I loved them, and my mom was like, you know, buy them. I didn't have like a hope chest, but it was that kind of idea. Just buy them and keep them.
How old do you think you were?
Teens.
Like 8, 19, 17, 16, something?
Yeah, maybe 16 or 17. And I put them away, and I just kept them. And I had them in a little thing under my bed, and always held on to them. And then my bowl, my fruit bowl in there, like, what is it? The Hall Company. It's like the red poppy design.
Yeah.
I found that.
Those are so
me
cool.
and Austin weren't married yet, but we might have been engaged. And I found it at one of the antique stores in Murphy, and I loved it. It had a big crack in the bottom of it, but I knew I wasn't really going to be cooking in it, so it would be fine for fruit, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I bought it, and then there's a lamp that I have that come from that thrift store in Hazelwood, out in Haywood County, and I got that before
That's a
I
good
got
one
married.
down there.
Yeah.
Is that what is that? The reseller? That's something. It's down there right next to that Beach Mountain restaurant, I think.
Something like that.
It's just, right down there next
But
to the
I
big
don't-
gun store.
I don't know if that's a thing that people do anymore, but I mean, that used to be for young girls. You had a hope chest, and you know,
People helped add things to it.
People helped add things to it, and then when you got married, I think that is so sweet. And if we ever have little girls, that would be. And we have a beautiful cedar chest that come from Austin's family. It's very old. It's like over 100 years old, and very beautiful. And we're honored to have it. And that would be a good hope chest. Right now, I store Christmas decorations and things in it.
But you could, that idea of like looking forward into your future with like this super pure, just joyful excitement. And it's also possible that if you later on you're like, well, I didn't use this or I didn't use that. Give it to somebody else for their hope chest. Or Corey and Austin have some beautiful things in their home. They've got some furniture I ended up giving them when I realized that I was going to have Ira. I was like, I'm going to need some room in my room for me and Ira. And so my dad built me these awesome built-ins. It's just like basically floor to ceiling built-ins in my room. And they're beautiful. It's like something out of a storybook. They're just awesome. And there's an insane amount of storage in them.
It's a lot of storage.
Because it goes all the way up the wall. So it's like a crazy amount of storage. There's way more storage in that set of built-ins that I now have than any of the furniture that I would have ever had. I mean, it's just a fantastic usage of space. Built-ins, I'm a fan. I'm going to have some one day in the future. So anyway, when he built them, he took up a whole wall and then like part of another wall. And I was like, well, I don't need this furniture anymore. And some of it, I was like, I could put it in my storage unit, or why would I do that when y'all could use it? Because they were going to move in this house. And I thought, well, I could just give you the furniture. This is a bigger house. You're going to have. So there's a piece, a really old piece I have down here. I guess it's in the same room with the chest. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing super exciting, but it's just like
it's a really neat little piece of furniture.
It is. It's old. Probably, I don't know, it's probably from the 50s or the 60s, probably. And then there's a piece of furniture just right here off the camera that my friends Donna and Michael give me. And it's a really nice piece of furniture. And it all worked out because I was like, well, what am I going to do with them, But then there's also the bookshelf in Woody's bedroom. Yeah, I give y'all that too.
And
all that come out of my room. That's the piece of furniture that come
there.
out of there.
But what's funny about the bookshelf in his room is when me and Katie were in our teens and we were like 16 and we got rid of the bunk beds and we got our own rooms for the first time. Dad built us these bookshelves. That's like my most favorite piece of furniture ever.
They're cool.
And I loved it, and I had it at my house, and it never. Let's see, did it? No, it didn't. I don't think it made it with us to the new house because we didn't have space for it. And then
it stayed there.
To the old house. It was the new house at the time. It stayed there. And then it's funny. The one that I had in my room is still at my room at my parents', but I have yours, and they're identical. But what I told Katie was, whenever it comes time and you need them back, there's your 3 pieces of furniture, and you can have them all back. You can have anything in this house that you want.
That's sweet. Well, I have furniture and that's probably part of why I was like, I can't put this in my storage
But
unit.
if you ever need it back, you can have it.
Yeah, I probably. There's furniture in Granny's house that I'll probably end up using one day because somebody's gonna have to do something with it. Which anybody else could have it. That when someone passes away and you have to go through a house, it takes time, and especially if you want to be able to share that with other people, it's going to take time for all my family to be able to look at everything and say, I want that. No, I don't want that. Here, this we're going to donate to somebody else. Like, it's just a long and lengthy process, but there's still plenty of things inside the house, furniture and whatever that will probably stay in the house that
other people might just say, hey, I don't have room for that.
And some of the
So-
cousins who live far away, trying to.
You just can't get it to them.
You just can't. It's not.
And I don't
feasible.
know. I'm really attached to that stuff, and so like that's my mama, that's my pap, I'm like mama, papa. I'm like that's my granny and pap's house,
Right.
and so there's going to be a lot of things that I don't want to change. Like nobody wants to change about it because that's their house,
Right.
and so
And we tend to like older stuff.
yeah. So there's no
And I have Miss
No time
Cindy's. I
frame on
wanted
that.
to say that earlier. I forgot about it. We have a lot of furniture that Austin's parents gave us when we, got married, which is really nice. There's, the TV stand, our nightstands, a dresser. It's all like the Broyhill stuff, which is really pretty. But then I have a dresser at Miss Cindy's, and I love that. And it's funny, she had a Broyhill dresser that matched the rest of this, and I had it for a while, and then we switched back. I've had her stuff, and now, this was before she passed, but there's a dresser back there, and I don't know when it's from, but it looks fairly vintage. And
is it the green one?
It's the green
She
one.
painted that.
She
didn't
painted that.
It's like rattan.
Kind of
Part of it,
sort of.
the dresser drawers
The doors part.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
cool.
love that.
is really cool. It's tall, skinny. It's actually really cool.
And I have another piece of furniture, that same color that she painted. Anyways,
Moving on, we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But I do feel lucky and blessed that we have
Yeah.
family and we're able to
and for us,
help each other out.
Absolutely. And when you think about building a home, that's the, best way to do it is people come together and help you. And hey, I don't use this anymore. Would you like it? And all, like, I love being able to like look around in the house and point to, oh, Austin's parents gave us that, or that was his grandparents, or my grandparents. Like, that's so special. It's such an honor for us to, do that. And
there's nothing wrong with new stuff if you like new stuff.
Yeah, that's good too.
But I don't, this like millennial gray, like I don't understand, like our generation and the ones younger, like we like clean,
Everything
sleek,
white.
modern, everything white, everything black, gray, and I'm like, I feel like I'm living in the hospital. Like I don't like it.
We
So
want Mama's house about 1975. That's what we're.
well, listen, the
Going
paneling in
for it.
Granny's house is going to give me just that. It will be because that's when it was put in there. It's in the 70s, and look, it's nice paneling. Why rip it out? Like, who cares? Like, it looks cool, it works. Like, it doesn't matter. And for practicality's sake, when you think about changing anything, it always takes time and money. And so you have to try to ask yourself, where would I like to spend my time and my money on anything for that matter? It's like, I'm probably never going to paint my truck. Like, I might have the body work done, and then they can prime those panels and paint them, but I'm never probably going to get a paint job on the entire truck.
Just too much.
It costs too much money, but
And then-
practicality,
yeah,
I don't need
you don't
to
need
do
it.
that. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what it looks like.
That for me is like what gets me sometimes. Is I want to be sure that I'm being practical. Even if I want something, I'm like, yeah, but if this is really not, like, I don't, even if I want it, but it's going to take a lot of money and I don't actually need it,
Why do
probably
it?
shouldn't do this.
Probably shouldn't do it, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about that. Sometimes people's house or their vehicles or whatever, sometimes you just assume, oh, this is like exactly 100% what someone
What
wants.
they want, but not always.
But not always. But it's so cool what comes together with people helping you, and of course the way God plans and works everything out, just in like all the details of life. And there's a lot of wisdom in just being happy with like what you've got, or happy with what you end up with, even if it's not your initial vision. Just being content with what you have is.
Yeah, Mom used to tell us, if you can't be happy with what you have, you'll never be happy with what you don't have.
Yeah.
That pursuit of like, well, I'll be happy when. If you're not just happy here, happiness is not conditional. Happiness
Right.
doesn't come from something out here, because out here it changes too much. So you might be happy one day,
Right.
but then
Happiness really is based on circumstances, and then true joy comes from the Lord. Right.
yeah, and you want joy. Joy is long lasting,
Right.
right?
It's better than happiness.
It's good to be happy in the short run, but
On that note,
on that note, I'm happy our bellies are full, and we're gonna wrap this up. So thanks for coming with us.
and I'll leave the recipe in the description below to the carrot salad. Everything else I talked about, I'll leave in the description below. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping me with lunch. This was nice.
No, thank you. And I'll go home because Ira's still napping, and I still
You
have a
still
little
have
bit
nap
of
time. That's
nap
right.
time shuffle to do something.
I think I'm going to walk Olive and see what I can do after that. I don't have to make anything for supper because I've got some leftovers. So I'm
Solid.
excited about that. I don't
Okay.
have to cook
It's
anymore
good.
today. So
That's good. Well,
as always,
God bless you. God keep you.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.